usually wear the same thing, to be honest. Pair of jeans, my white Superga trainers, cashmere sweater, maybe a striped Breton top. Always my Celine handbag. I've had the same one for 10 years. Not exactly the same one. I've had a couple of manifestations of the same bag. And I'd say I take that approach to the way I design jewellery as well. So the jewellery is quite simple, not too many details, and it's quite playful and hopefully chic at the same time. Yeah. Someone who's interested in fashion culture, but not a slave to trends. And I'd say they like to make a delicate statement, but perhaps they want to add something light-hearted but stylish to their look. Oh, from so many places. Travel especially, so I go to Paris about 3 times a year. I always go to the antique markets. Porte de Cléoncourt is my favourite, and the department stores. I was gutted when Colette, this super cool concept store, closed down last year. Where else? Rajasthan is probably my favourite place on earth. There's this just incredible creative energy there. And Tokyo and Seoul, I'm often in Asia for work, so I find those places very inspiring as well. I read lots of interiors magazines, and I'm currently obsessing over the home of New York designer Ulla Johnson. She has this brownstone in Brooklyn, and it's just amazing. You have to look at it and check it out on Instagram. Garance Dore's in Los Angeles as well, have a look at hers. I love photography, and I'm really excited about Tim Walker's exhibition at the V&A this year. And as well, I'm really into embroidery at the moment, so I've been making t-shirts for friends, and I bought some, I follow a few people on Instagram, and I bought some of their work as well. And my old fashion college, the London College of Fashion, recently had this super cool exhibition called The Subversive Stitch. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that at the moment. Oh, yeah, it's lovely. I'm always in sort of disbelief really, but it's especially nice if someone looks sort of super cool. And yeah, it gives me a real buzz to know that I've contributed to their look in a tiny way. Probably, I think Martha Ward. She is fashion director of Condé Nast Traveler magazine, and her style is just so cool. It's quite feminine, but it's also a strength to it as well, and a real British sensibility. I mean, she was shooting in Peru recently, and you know, she can just look effortlessly stylish, hugging an alpaca, a baby alpaca in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, definitely her. At the moment, probably Ulla Johnson. So she is a designer based in New York, who I just mentioned. And she's got this beautiful, her label has this beautiful kind of bohemian vibe. She uses just like wonderful prints and embroidery. Yeah, her creations are gorgeous. And as well, Maria Grazia Chiuri, I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, but she is the creative director of Christian Dior, and she has come from Valentino, and she just creates these beautiful kind of whimsical dresses that are emblazoned with embroidery. And yeah, I saw her work at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it's so beautiful. There was the Christian Dior exhibition there last year, so I went a few times to that. I would say find your niche. So perhaps you could think up a couple of words that describes your approach to jewellery design, and then just ensure that everything you do is defined by those words. Invest in your branding, that's very important. if you're not so hot on the sort of numbers and finance side of the business, perhaps partner with someone who is, or definitely get some help and advice. So my brother and I set up Estella Bartlett, and I'm rubbish at that sort of thing, but he is fantastic. And we now sell Estella Bartlett jewellery in Liberty, in Nordstrom in America. So yeah, I would say play to your strengths. I think the first piece that comes to mind is a necklace that I designed, it's probably about 8 years ago. So there's a bit of a backstory to it. So in my early 20s, I lived with my best friends, and one of the girls, Ali, moved to Hong Kong. So the first time she came back, it was another one of our friends' birthdays, and we had such a fun weekend. We went to the theatre, had our nails done. We went to Columbia Road Flower Market, and to say thank you for putting her up, she bought me this plant with this tiny little pineapple growing out of the top of it. I loved it so much that I sketched it and had it made into a charm. So this was a long time before peak pineapple, but because it's such a beautiful object in itself, I still wear it today and really love it. And it's personal to me because it just reminds me of my good friend and the really fun times that we had that weekend. I'm quite minimal when it comes to jewellery, I'd say, but I quite like to wear something fun at the same time. So it might be something like this, so a very delicate chain with lots of really cute little charms on it, or it might be an emoji necklace. So generally I might wear 2 necklaces and have a simple chain and then layer something a bit more substantial with it. And then maybe a delicate bracelet, perhaps something like this. Oh, I have so many. Okay, there are a few that are really special to me. The team at Estella Bartlett had a locket made for my birthday, and I wear that a lot, so it's just a one-off piece, but yeah, that was really beautiful. And as well, I'd probably say my engagement ring. So it's an Edwardian ring that was made in 1905, and that was sort of the time that the suffragette movement was taking off. And I know that in 1908 there was a march in Hyde Park that was the biggest demonstration that's ever happened in the UK up until that point, demanding votes for women. So I hope that whoever wore my ring when it was their ring were supporters of that cause. And it's an old European cut diamond, so it doesn't sparkle like diamonds of today, but I mean it really sparkles under candlelight, and I quite like the romance of that. Well, we recently launched some handbags and small accessories, and I'm really pleased that they have been bought by some really great stores like Harrods and Liberty, but also some fashion stores like Topshop and Urban Outfitters. So I'm going to continue to concentrate on the jewellery, but also focus on these new areas of Estella Bartlett.